As you know, Las Vegas Raiders quarterback Aidan O'Connell just changed his number to number 12. I heard him say on Max Crosby's The Rush podcast that he didn't want Derek Carr's number 4 out of respect. He also said he patterned his game after Tom Brady, which I believe has more to do with why he made the switch to number 12. Dave Ziegler, the GM that picked him last year, did so because he reminded him of Brady. Brady was his pro comparison too, so O'Connell must have done a decent job of patterning his game after him. O'Connell is obviously unlikely to do what Brady's done over his career, but his traits are similar, so he patterned his game after the right guy. So I guess the question for Raider Nation to ask is just how much Brady does O'Connell have in him? Brady didn't look like much, so the NFL underestimated him, and he did what he did in the NFL because he was a classic overachiever. He achieved way above his talent level. O'Connell doesn't look like much either, but he's also a classic overachiever. He hasn't been in the NFL long enough, but look what he did at Purdue. He started out as the 8th string walk-on, then earned a scholarship in the starting quarterback job. He did more than just start though. He excelled, breaking the career completion percentage record previously held by Drew Brees and led Purdue to their first Big Ten championship game. He also led them to 8+ wins in back-to-back seasons for the first time since the 90s. Purdue was 20-30 in the 50 games prior to O'Connell becoming the full-time starter and 17-10 in his 2 years. It's incredible to earn a scholarship to a Big Ten school and become their starting quarterback after walking on, but it's crazy to turn that program around while breaking records at the same time. O'Connell did much more than anyone expected, like the classic overachiever he is. O'Connell brought at least some of that classic overachiever up to the NFL with him. He was put in an impossible situation and did pretty well. I don't even want to count Week 4 against the Los Angeles Chargers because he was set up to fail with no practice reps. Then head coach Antonio Pierce needed him so he can try to keep the job. That wasn't going to happen with Jimmy Garoppolo or Brian Hoyer, but O'Connell came through and helped Pierce keep the job by going 5-4 under him and finished the season at 8-9 to give the Raiders hope. They were 3-1 in the AFC West too. Overall, O'Connell went 5-5 as a starter, completing 62% of his passes for 2,218 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen was prepped and he went 5-6 as a rookie, completing 53% of his passes for 2,078 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Remember, O'Connell did what he did with no practice reps between training camp and Pierce taking over. He had an inexperienced offensive coordinator calling plays too. Only an overachiever can go in a situation like that and perform. One thing Brady was known for as far as talent goes was his deadly accuracy. When he threw a football, it was going to go exactly where he wanted it to go. O'Connell has great accuracy too. He showed it in college while breaking the completion percentage record at Purdue. Brees, whose record he broke as a Hall of Fame quarterback and one of the most accurate passers in NFL history. O'Connell did incredible things on the way to breaking that record too. He completed 40 passes in back-to-back games in 2021. You can't attribute that to him padding his stats against inferior competition either. Those 2 games were against Michigan State and Ohio State. You can't attribute it to this dink and dunk screen era either. He's not like Bo Nix throwing 30% of his passes behind the line of scrimmage. O'Connell only threw 16% of his passes behind the line of scrimmage. He wasn't as good in 2022 after losing guys to the NFL, but he connected on a good percentage of his deep balls in 2021. All in all, O'Connell showed his accuracy all over the field in college. The biggest part of Brady's legend is what he did in the clutch. He has more fourth quarter comebacks than we can count. He didn't just do it in the regular season either. He led comebacks in the playoffs and Super Bowls. O'Connell made such a name for himself at Purdue on the way to tying Brees for the most fourth quarter comebacks in school history with 6. So of course they gave him names like Captain Comeback and Captain Clutch. Sounds like Brady, doesn't it? O'Connell wasn't even the team's full-time starter when he started all the comeback magic. In 2019, starting quarterback Jake Plummer got hurt and O'Connell took over in the second half and led a comeback win over Nebraska. That was his first taste of the comeback magic, but not his last. He showed he can do it on the big stage under the bright lights against good teams too. O'Connell killed it against Tennessee in the Music City Bowl in 2021, leading a fourth quarter comeback that ended in an overtime win for Purdue. And he capitalized on his one opportunity to show Raider fans he's clutch in 2023 in Week 9 against the New York Jets. But unfortunately for O'Connell, he has another trait in common with Brady. He's an old school quarterback that isn't a big threat to hurt you with his legs, as many of the top quarterbacks of today are. He's more athletic than Brady though. I've seen him escape the pocket and throw a little bit. I think it was last preseason, but he definitely needs to move around more in real games. He needs to learn how to slide around and be more elusive in the pocket. That's how Brady used to get the ball off at times without getting sacked. Brady, just like any other quarterback, isn't as good a passer under pressure, but his production didn't fall off to the levels other quarterbacks did. When kept clean, Brady's passer rating was in the hundreds. When under pressure, it fell to the mid-80s, which is pretty good. O'Connell really needs to work on his mobility and passing under pressure. His passer rating in 2023 was 92 when kept clean and 64 when under pressure. Sports Illustrated's Hondo Carpenter reported that he's working hard on all that. He'll never be a big threat with his legs, but he can be more elusive in the pocket. I'm not here to say O'Connell lied, but I will say he only told half the truth. He probably did feel it was disrespectful to wear Carr's number that soon after he left, but that's not all of it. He patterned his game after Brady, so number 12 would naturally be the number he wants. He has it now, so it's time to see just how much Brady has in him. He's already shown he has some in college, being a classic overachiever, deadly accurate with the football, and clutch. He put some of those traits on display last year with the Raiders, but he's entering year 2 now, and the NFL is on notice. So we'll see. Thank you for watching. See you next time.